morning. So just redoing the beginning of my Portuguese knitting video for you. Yes, I fell in love with Portuguese knitting. I guess trying to teach myself different ways of knitting, and every single one that I tried felt so cumbersome. And the cool thing about Portuguese knitting, not only is it super easy, it doesn't cause all the stress on your hands, your wrists. If you have arthritis or carpal tunnel, I would tell you to try this because this is fantastic. And it doesn't cause that fatigue and strain in your shoulder and your arms, at least from all my research. That's what I found out. So the difference in Portuguese knitting is, and I'm trying to make sure that my phone is not getting all cattywampus. You wear the yarn around your neck, okay? So when you put your yarn, I've got some beautiful hand-dyed merino wool blend here. And you just put this around your neck like this. Get my hair out of the way a little bit, okay? And then you're pulling your, you're tensioning your yarn with it around your neck. On your left hand, you put the yarn around your middle finger. Some people like to use their ring finger. I prefer my middle finger. And that helps you slide the yarn. Now your working yarn will be in your left hand, okay? And another way that you can do Portuguese knitting is to, instead of wearing it around your neck, you can get what's called, oh, hello. Saoirse, one of my Savannah cats, wants to come in and say hi. Go on, Saoirse, get down. Cats everywhere. You can get a knitting pin. Now, I'll show you this one. This one, it's beautiful. It's got a magnet on the back. It's got a magnet on the back of the front piece. It's got a magnet for the back piece, and then it's got a wooden button so it doesn't irritate your skin, because what you're going to do is up near your left shoulder, you're going to put the part that actually has the pin on it, and then you're going to magnetize it by putting the other magnet inside your clothing like that, okay? So if you can see that, right? And then from the same direction, you're going to go ahead and hook your yarn into the pin like that. And then you can have your tensioning like this, okay? So instead of around your neck, you still got your working yarn on the left. And the yarn that goes to your ball, cake, or skein will be coming off to the right. Now, if you're left-handed, you may have to reverse things, okay? But yeah. So as I learn more stitches, because there really isn't a lot out there on the internet for Portuguese knitting. My cat just jumped up here. Are you supposed to be up here, Saoirse? I don't think so. Yeah, so as I learned more techniques with Portuguese knitting, things like knit front to back, yarn overs, increases, decreases, all those fun things, I will go ahead and share them with you, and we can go on this journey together, because I'm really not much of a knitter at all. I've never made well, yeah, I did make a sweater, but that was with a knitting machine back in the 90s. I've knit hats, that kind of thing, but that's about it. So, and if you don't follow me, I have Tourette's, so yeah. So anyway, it's a beautiful fall morning here. I'm going to go ahead and edit the original video and add this part to it, and take the part out where I look kind of a hot mess. Stay tuned for the knit and purl and cast on. Okay, so the setup for doing a longtail cast on is that you put the yarn that goes to your skein, cake, or ball coming off your neck or your pin on the right hand side. Put it around your middle finger. You can use your ring finger if you want to. I just prefer it over my middle finger. Okay. I have created a slip knot on the tail side, which is the left side coming off your neck. This is where your work is going to be created. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my knitting needle and I'm going to put it through that slip knot. Okay. So the tail is coming over here to the left. Okay. So we'll just leave it right there for right now. Okay. With a slip knot, it's super easy to make. If you don't know how to make a slip knot, go ahead and just wrap it around your finger and then just pull it through. See, like that. And that's how to make a slip knot, okay? All right. Now you'll notice I'm holding, for the Longtail cast on, I have grabbed enough yarn, which is double the amount of stitches that I think I'm going to be putting on my needle, okay? That's just a good rule of thumb from what I understand. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab the tail with these 3 fingers, okay? So just so I have a hold of it, just like that, okay? All right? And I'm kind of holding on to the slip knot just so it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, so what I'm going to do with my index finger is I'm going to scoop it so it's on my finger, okay? I'm pointing down, and I put my needle there. I flip with my thumb over the top, then I'm going back up through that loop, sliding my finger off, okay? Let's see that again. I'm scooping, I'm pointing down, I'm flipping, I'm going back up through that, and I'm sliding my finger out, okay? Now, you can get going pretty fast with this if you want. And see how my hands are never leaving the needles? And that's what I love about it, okay? Isn't that cool? So we'll do it slow again. Scoop, point down, flick, pull up through, slide your finger out. Scoop, point down, flick, go up through, and pull your finger out. Now I do apologize because I've got really long cables on these needles, okay? So there we go, we have our long tail cast on. I'm not going to do all these stitches, okay? So now we'll go ahead and get the tail out of the way. Let me go ahead and get my other needle. Okay, so here we go. We've got our tensioning. I've got my yarn ring on. Now we're going to go ahead and do some knit stitches, okay? So to do knit stitches, you want to make sure that this yarn is always on top of the right needle, okay? Now, if you're doing this reverse, just reverse the directions, okay? But all your work is always done in the front. Now go in as if to knit, which normally you would do in the behind the needle like that, but you want to make sure that you're in front. Flick, come down, and slide off, okay? Do that again. Go in as if to knit, but stay in the front. Flick, come down, and pull off that stitch. Again, go in as if to knit, but keep your point and your needle in the front. Flick, come down, trying to get the yarn out of your way so you can see it, and slide off, okay? See if I can come up a little bit closer, okay? Again, go in as if to knit, but don't go behind. Stay in front. Use your thumb, flip the yarn over, okay? Now, go down, grabbing that yarn right here, and then slide off, okay? Again, go in as if to knit, stay in the front, flick, go down, slide off, okay? Finish these last few stitches. And you can see I do not have any experience with Portuguese knitting. And in regular knitting, I'm like a slug. I've tried different styles and none of them feel really comfortable to me. And to me, throwing your yarn is just like, oh my gosh, it seems like it takes forever and a day. And I don't like it. Okay, so there we go. We have just completed that row of stitches. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn my work, and we are going to do purl. Now, people love the purl stitch in Portuguese knitting because it is said that it is super, super easy. Okay, so with purling and Portuguese, you are going to point your needle down like that, flip over, and come off. That's it. That's a purl. Point down, flip over, come through and off. Point down, flip over, come through and off. Let's do that slow again. Point down, flip over, come through and off. Point down, flick over, come through and off. Point down, flip 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 over, come through. Oops. See how your work keeps coming closer and closer to you? Point down, flip over, come through and off. Okay. So now we've just done one row of knit and one row of purl. Okay. Now if you wanted to do ribbing where you're doing knit, purl, just remember where this yarn, your working yarn, needs to be. Okay, so if you're doing knit, remember it has to be on top of the needle, on the right hand needle, okay? So go in as if to knit, keep your work in front. This needle has to be in front of the other needle, okay? Flip, go down and pull off, okay? That's your knit. Now if you want to do a purl, you notice that your yarn is on top. Simply flip it back and then you can point down and do your purl. Okay, let's do that again. Now we're going to do knit, and you notice that the yarn is on the bottom of the needle. Well, we need it back on top, so go back behind, loop it over, okay? Go in and do your knit. Okay, we want to do a purl, flip it down, point down, and slide off, okay? We want to do a knit, put it on top. We want to do a purl, put it on the bottom. We want to do a knit, put it on top. We want to do a purl, put it on the bottom. Getting too close again. Okay, we want to do a knit, put it on the top. And we want to do a purl, flip it to the bottom. And I hope you understood this. This is my first attempt at showing this work, okay? Now, a lot of people say they do all purl stitches for some of their work because it is so very easy. And I will tell you that I have no experience with this. I can just tell you that it is so very easy, so very easy. Your stitches, especially for a newbie like mine, tend to be very, very even. They stay very even. I just absolutely love, love, love it. Okay, so I will come back with another video. I will go over what I just did now, and then we will do some yarn over, some increases, that sort of thing. I am not a knitter. I'm a crocheter mainly, but I have done some knitting. However, I am very, very happy to go on this journey with you, and I hope you enjoy it as well. remember, you are all amazing just as you are. Bye.